Hey everyone, welcome in. We're diving deep today, and we've got a really fascinating organization to explore. Right here in Gainesville, Florida, the Latina Women's League,
Okay, yeah.
and we've got all sorts of stuff to dig into, news articles, even transcripts from some of their events online.
Wow.
Really, the goal is to understand, can kind of get a feel for the impact they have, all the different ways this group is involved in the community.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll see, it's definitely not just one thing. It's really,
Oh, yeah.
they're involved in a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at it both, I mean, historically and now, like they're constantly finding new ways to support the community and
Yeah.
connect with folks around them.
So let's start back at the beginning,
Okay.
way back in 2005.
Yeah.
This is when the Latino Women's League was founded by Victoria Connor Williams.
Mm.
And right away, it seems like their energy was really focused on these cultural and educational projects
Right.
aimed at supporting the international community here
Hmm.
in Gainesville and the wider Alachua County.
That makes sense.
And it seems like the big overarching goal was really to build a better understanding, an appreciation for Latin American culture
Mm-hmm.
and art right here locally.
I think what's really interesting is from what I was reading, they started with very practical things. Like they kind of saw some needs and just jumped in.
Yeah.
You know, free English classes,
Yeah.
a book club, workshops on becoming a citizen.
Wow.
It seems like they had that real practical kind of, let's address what people need right now.
Yeah, and that leads us perfectly to one of their longest standing and clearly vital programs, right?
Yeah.
The English Immersion Program.
Okay.
This has been running for over 2 decades.
Wow.
So clearly it's important, it's sustainable.
Yeah, 2 decades is a long time.
And they offer these lessons totally free to adults,
Mwah.
beginner and intermediate levels of English.
That's fantastic.
And, it's still going strong, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The spring term, just this year, started January 21st. It's a 4-month program for the students. One of the articles mentioned about 15 students are in the current class,
Wow.
all coming in with different levels, of course.
Exactly. And the classes really seem to focus on those building blocks. Grammar, pronunciation, just being comfortable with basic conversation.
Right, the foundations.
And for a lot of the students, the fact that it's free
Yeah.
is it's a huge weight off their shoulders.
Absolutely. That financial burden can be a real barrier.
I think it was Erica Gersi, one of the league's presidents, who said that they're really trying to remove as many barriers as possible for folks who want to participate.
That's really powerful when you think about it. Learning English here can open up so many doors.
Yeah.
And by making it free, it really does level the playing field for a lot of people.
And in some of the sources, we actually get to hear from the students themselves.
Oh, that's great.
Maria Diaz, who's 57, she actually describes English as a universal language
Interesting.
and said, without it, you're somewhat walking in the dark. And then you have Hixia Grande, who she already had some English,
Mm.
but actually moved to Gainesville specifically to study more at UF.
Wow, that's dedication.
So she could find better job opportunities. You could just hear their drive
Right.
and what this program means to them.
Those personal stories really bring it home, don't they? I mean, it's not just about memorizing words. It's about people, really investing in their futures and feeling more connected to their new community.
And it's also really fascinating that these classes aren't just run by paid instructors.
Oh, interesting.
Volunteers are essential, and a lot of them are students from UF.
Okay.
We even heard from a couple of them. Elijah Zarsadius, who's a junior at UF, studying linguistics and French.
Wow.
He actually said that his own family had challenges with language barriers, and that's part of what motivated him to volunteer.
Oh, that's great.
And then Daniela Gray, who's also a junior, and she's studying dual languages and international studies. And she coordinates the volunteers. She really believes in building community connections through this kind of support. What does it tell you that so many university students are involved?
It creates this really interesting dynamic, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. You've got these students volunteering. They're getting this experience, this chance to really connect with the community.
Right.
And then the English language learners, they're getting these really enthusiastic instructors that they can maybe relate to more.
Yeah.
It's fostering connections across different ages, backgrounds.
Exactly. And it's not even just the grammar and the vocabulary.
Right.
The students have actually said that they feel more comfortable and safer practicing English outside of the classroom,
That's huge.
which is, such a significant step toward feeling like you're part of the community.
Yeah, that confidence must be huge.
Yeah, when you're more confident using the language in everyday situation,
Right.
it just makes you want to be more involved.
Absolutely. Breaks down those initial barriers of feeling self-conscious.
Yeah, and the English immersion program is just one piece of what the Latina Women's League does.
Oh, wow.
They also offer things like Spanish language storytelling for kids, workshops on health education, and even what they call training on American lifestyle.
Training on American lifestyle. That's interesting.
What do you think that might be?
I mean, it sounds like a really comprehensive approach to helping folks settle in, right?
Sure.
It's beyond the language, maybe navigating local customs, understanding different social norms,
Right.
even practical advice, banking, transportation, things like that.
Wow.
It's providing the cultural context
Yeah.
that's so important when you're new somewhere.
Now let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about another one of their major initiatives, their annual Latino Film Festival.
Okay, yeah.
The 20th festival actually just took place in September of 2024.
Wow, 20 years. That's amazing.
And this is a massive, massive undertaking, a celebration of, not just film from Latin America, but music, dance, art. They even have speakers. And remarkably, all of it is free and open to the public.
It really shows the dedication, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
the value the community places on this. To reach that kind of milestone, 20 years, it shows they're offering something that really resonates with people.
Yeah, and making it free.
Yeah.
Ensures that everyone can participate,
Absolutely.
which goes right back to their mission of accessibility and cultural enrichment.
Exactly.
Now, the theme for last year's festival was really thought-provoking.
Okay.
Social memory in Latin America.
Social memory.
And it was really aimed at getting people to think about the experiences of Latin American voters
Yeah.
with national elections and to offer different ways of looking at current issues.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see a film festival tackling something as complex as social memory?
Well, film is such a powerful medium for that kind of thing, right? Exploring those collective experiences, the historical narratives, by focusing on that, on social memory, they probably curated these films that really dealt with how societies remember and interpret their past, especially in relation to political events.
Yeah.
It creates a space for dialogue and reflection on these shared histories.
And the festival wasn't even just in one place.
Oh, really?
Events were all over Gainesville, at the Harn Museum of Art, Santa Fe College, the Public Library, the Matheson History Museum, Bo Diddley Plaza, even at UF's libraries,
Wow.
and the Center for Independent Living.
They were really all over.
That really shows how integrated they are into the city's cultural scene.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And by using all these different venues, they're not just reaching a wider audience, they're also highlighting all these different cultural resources
Mm-hmm.
that Gainesville has to offer.
It's like a synergy between the festival and the city.
Exactly. And they also cater to a broad audience with different categories of films for adults, teenagers, and kids and families.
Oh, okay.
And in 2024, it wasn't even just movies. They had 2 concerts, an art exhibition, which actually kicked off National Hispanic Heritage Month,
That's cool.
and an international food festival. It sounds like a real multi-sensory experience.
Yeah, that elevates it, right.
Yeah.
It's not just film, it's a much richer experience. Offers something for everyone.
Yeah, and we even have details about specific events,
wow.
which really paint a picture for us.
Yeah.
The opening night featured a film from Ecuador at the Harn Museum.
Okay.
And then afterwards, there was a discussion with the filmmaker and a UF professor about China's involvement in Ecuador.
Interesting.
Then there was a teen night with a film about the U.S.-Mexico border and a showing of the animated movie Vivo for kids and families.
So a real range.
It's quite a range.
What strikes me is you've got these international filmmakers
Right.
bringing their stories directly to the community, but then paired with local academic expertise
Yeah.
to provide that context and a deeper understanding.
Exactly, and it kept going. With dance nights at Bo Diddley Plaza,
Yeah.
salsa, meringue, even dance lessons.
Mhm.
They showed Encanto and Coco for younger audiences.
So for the whole family.
A documentary from Ecuador about political campaigns. Another teen night with a film from Argentina and Uruguay. And a concert of Latin music. You can really see the effort to create this diverse program.
Yeah, from serious documentaries that make you think
Okay.
to fun for families, they're really trying to hit all those points of interest.
Right, and there was also a performance by a folkloric dance group from Panama, a historical drama from Chile, a young adult night with a film from Venezuela,
Huh.
with a Q&A with the filmmaker afterwards.
Okay.
That one sounds particularly engaging. It's a movie about a deaf-mute boy.
Wow.
And then there was a social diversity night with the International Food Festival,
Oh, that's fun.
which was a collaboration with a U.S. student group focused on immigrant rights, and even had participation from India Fest and UF's International Student Center.
It's so cool when you see those organizations working together.
And then the whole festival wrapped up with a film from Columbia at UF's library. It's an incredibly full schedule over those 3 weeks.
Sounds exhausting, but fun.
And if anyone listening wants more details, the website is GainesvilleLatinoFilmFestival.org.
I'll have to check that out.
It really sounds like a labor of love.
It does. It highlights that power of volunteers
Yeah.
and community partnerships to bring something like this to life.
Which brings us to thinking about the larger impact
Yeah.
and growth of the Latina Women's League here. We mentioned earlier how those English courses are so effective
Yeah.
that other organizations sometimes start their own programs after seeing the need highlighted by the League's work.
It's like they're leading the way.
It really is a testament to their influence.
They're not just meeting the need, they're inspiring others to get involved too.
Exactly. And they also create this vital space for people who are new to the area to connect with each other and to share their own skills and experiences.
Right. That sense of community is so important.
Especially in a place like Gainesville.
Yeah.
Where, being able to communicate in English is often so crucial.
Yeah, probably more so than a place with a larger Spanish-speaking population.
Yeah, exactly. By fostering these connections, they're really helping people to feel less isolated.
All right.
More empowered to participate.
And it's worth remembering that the Hispanic and Latin American population in Gainesville and the Ocala area is significant and growing. It's around 100,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
The League is playing such a key role in serving this part of the community.
Yeah, that just underscores how vital their work is and will continue to be.
And their partnerships with UF and Santa Fe College are really notable. Students, various departments, the Spanish department, graduate students helping out as MCs, students volunteering for classes and events, and even collaborations with Latino and Latina scientists organizations.
That's great. Those connections must bring a lot of energy and resources.
Yeah, it's mutually beneficial. Students gain valuable experience, the university connects with the community more deeply, and the League benefits from the talent and the resources.
Exactly.
And looking ahead, it seems like the League is really working to get more young people involved.
Which is so crucial for any organization to thrive long term.
That focus on the next generation is essential to ensure their work continues to be relevant.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, it's clear that the Latina Women's League is making incredibly diverse and meaningful contributions here in Gainesville.
Absolutely.
From those essential free English classes to the vibrant and thought-provoking film festival. Their impact is truly wide-ranging.
It really is.
We've definitely uncovered some aha moments
That's for sure.
as we've explored all that they do.
What stands out to me is just that unwavering commitment to building a more inclusive and culturally rich community.
Yeah.
They're creating these spaces where people can learn, connect, and celebrate their heritage, and that benefits everyone, no matter your background.
It makes you realize how important these kinds of grassroots organizations are.
Right.
They often operate behind the scenes, but they're so vital to a more connected and understanding society.
So for you listening, think about your own community. How do local initiatives like this, like the Latina Women's League, contribute to its vibrancy and character? And maybe even more importantly, what opportunities are there for you to support those efforts or to explore the diverse cultural offerings that exist right where you live?
That's something to think about.
Yeah, it's definitely worth considering that richness that these organizations bring to our lives, often in ways we don't even realize.
Thanks for joining us
Thanks, everyone.
for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.